Nothing yet. All right, we're live, George.
Good evening. My name is George Schneider, and I'm honored to be the moderator for this evening's candidate forum. The candidate forum is brought to you by the Twisp Valley Grange. This is something they've been doing here in our community for quite a few years, and we all really appreciate that the Grange has stepped up and helped us learn more about the candidates and the issues that we vote on here in our community. We are, of course, because of COVID, doing this in a virtual setting. I know the folks at the Grange are eager to get back to packing the Grange Hall, and maybe by 2022, we're going to be able to do that. But this evening, the format is that you are listening via our YouTube live stream. It is live, but unfortunately, there's no opportunity for the audience to participate during the live session. We have received questions and input from the community prior to putting on this evening's event. But from this point on, there's no additional participation other than listening. We have two elections coming soon in November, and we have candidates here for the Cemetery District 2. Carol Gaston is the incumbent, and Larry Smith is also a candidate for the position. And we also are going to be talking about the Twisp Town Council position 2. Aaron Studen is the incumbent, and Dara Perez is here challenging Aaron for that position. We'll be starting out tonight talking with the candidates for the Cemetery Commission. A few quick acknowledgements before we start. The folks at the Grange who have been most involved in making this happen include Val Hecker, Wendy Braden, Steve and Terry Dixon, Simon Windell, and Mary Jane Perry. And we thank them for all the hard work it takes to make something like this come off smoothly. Also like to thank all the candidates that are with us tonight. These are sometimes thankless jobs, and we really appreciate that you are willing to put your time and effort into serving the community in these positions. So thank you. Simon Windell is serving in the role as timer tonight. I'm not sure if the audience can see this, but the candidates can certainly see Simon in a small window. He has two flags. A yellow flag will go up when the speaker has 15 seconds left to answer the question. And a red flag will go up when time is up and the speaker needs to wrap up the answer quickly. There's a series of questions for all the candidates. The first couple of questions were provided ahead of time. And for the town council candidates, there's a number of additional questions that, as I said, came from members of our community. The initial questions, and I'll remind you as we go along, we allow 2 minutes, up to 2 minutes to answer those questions. And then the follow-up questions for the town commissioners position will be 1 minute answers. You also have the opportunity to rebut or add a little something if you feel like you heard something in your opponent's answer that you want to answer to. You're allowed 2 rebuttals this evening each, and a rebuttal will be signaled by raising your hand, and we'll try to catch that in our vision. And then your rebuttal can last up to 1 minute. So you're allowed 2 of those in the evening. Okay, any questions, candidates? No, looks good. Okay, so we're going to get started. The candidates for town council will, I think, disappear from our screen, and we'll now speak with Carol Gaston and Larry Smith, running for Cemetery District 2 Commissioner. Welcome, Carol, and welcome, Larry. We're going to start out. We're going to start out with questions for you, Carol, because I think many people may not understand the job of Cemetery Commissioner. Before I ask you about yourself and your interest in the job, since you are the incumbent, would you mind telling us, giving us an overview of the job of Cemetery Commissioner? And you have 2 minutes for that.
I would be glad to, George. Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to explain where the boundary of the Cemetery District 2 is. Basically, it is the same as the Methow Valley School District, divided in half somewhere between Twin Lakes Road and Signal Hill. And we are, Cemetery 2 District is the south end of the district, of that area. The duties of the commissioner are, it's a volunteer position. We are responsible for the grounds, maintenance, and care of the cemetery and how it looks. We assist with the funeral homes and families for the funeral or the burial whenever it is required of us. We are good stewards of the county tax dollars, as we are a junior tax district. We are responsible to adopt an annual budget, which is accountable to the county, and it oversees our budget and makes sure that we adhere to our budget. We are mandated to follow the state's RCWs that apply to cemeteries. We prepare an annual audit required by the state, and we prepare also an annual report to the county. We oversee 2 part-time positions. We have a part-time secretary and a part-time maintenance man at the cemetery. We are basically there to prepare community service, respect, and compassion to the families in a time of need. We take care of the grounds at the Memorial Garden. That's also help with the Twisp Garden Club and the local 4-H kids help. So that's basically the overview of the duties of a commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Carol. And could you now, Carol, tell us something about yourself and your qualifications for this job? In 2 minutes for that.
I'm Carol Gaston. I live in Twisp with my husband, Bub. I've lived here 32 years. I'm semi-retired. I work part-time as a receptionist at a local business in Twisp. My outside interests, when I have extra time, are gardening and county cross stitch, crafting, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. I've been on the cemetery board since 2010, when I was appointed to fill a position of a commissioner who resigned. I feel qualifications for this job is ability to work with the public. I think you need to have a passion for the grounds and the upkeep of the cemetery and how it looks. You need knowledge of tax budget, things we work with tax dollars. We volunteer, like I said, to assist with the funeral homes. And this is something that I have been doing since the late 60s, when I started helping my parents do the flags at the Wenatchee area cemeteries for the veterans for Memorial Day. And I've taken this on as a lifelong passion of mine.
Okay, thank you very much, Carol. We're now going to turn to Larry Smith. Larry's a candidate also for the District 2 Cemetery Commission. Two questions for you, Larry, each one 2 minutes. The first one, tell us something about yourself and your qualifications for this job.
Okay, be glad to. First thing I'd like to say to Carol, I want to thank you, Carol, for your time and for the way that the grounds always look. It's always been kept up very well. So thank you. And so a little bit about myself. I came here to the Methow Valley to the old town of Silver back in 1953. So I've been here a long time. I live on the original family homestead. And so I graduated from high school at Twisp High School. And when I was 16, I came into town, started working as a mechanic for Dwayne Kuykendall, which had just opened up the new Shell station. In late 60s, early 70s, I got involved with the fire district. In fact, in 1971 through 98, I was the chairman of Fire District 6. And after that, when I retired from that position, I was a chief for quite a few years. I was heavily involved in Kiwanis and a lot of the projects that they've done in this community, Boy Scouts, and many other things. And my passion is that I like to work with people. I like to be able to solve problems and meet people's needs. And one of the things that I've really tried to put first and foremost in my life is that I like serving my community. And I've done that for a long time. And I want to continue to do that. And that is exactly why that I decided to run for the commissioner position, is because I like serving our community. And I realize that one day I'm going to rest up there at Beaver Creek Cemetery. And that was originally, Beaver Creek Cemetery was a part of our original ranch, part of the old town of Silver, which some land got donated back in the 50s too. So that kind of, and I've been in business for myself for 40 plus years. And so that's what I do here in the Methow Valley. And
Okay.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity here.
Okay, thanks, Larry. And you mentioned this a little bit, but I'll ask the question, let you have a little more time to expound on it, which is, what made you decide to run for the position of cemetery commissioner?
Well, like I said, and my main primary reason is I like serving our community. And I see up there, things are done. And anyway and I know that people have been there for a long time. So I thought, well, I'd like to run, see what I can do to help out there and bring some new blood and some new ideas and just continue what's going on there. And one thing is in qualifications, I worked with the fire district for 26 years and we had a large budget. And so I'm very, very used to junior taxing districts, how they operate the budgets and how to be a good steward of the money.
Okay, thanks very much, Larry. And that's all the time we're going to have this evening for the candidates for the Cemetery Commission. So thank you both, Larry and Carol. And we'll move now to the second part of the program to talk with candidates for Twisp Town Council Position 2. And I'll allow just a few seconds here to rearrange screens and microphones and such. Simon, just give me the thumbs up when we're ready to go. Okay. We have the incumbent in the position, Aaron Studen is here, and Dara Perez, who is also a candidate for the position. We sent ahead a couple of questions. We also have up to 10 more questions following that that came from the community. So I'm going to start out with you, Dara, if it's okay, with the first two questions. The first one, you have 2 minutes, is tell us something about yourself and your qualifications for this job.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Dara Perez, and I'm the new candidate for the Twisp Town Council position number 2. I've lived and worked in the Methow Valley for 20 years, and the last 12 of those in Twisp. I am married, I am a mother of 2 grown daughters, and I'm a proud grandmother. I have a wide circle of friends in Twisp, and they all carry a variety of differing viewpoints in life, so it makes for a very interesting friendship circle. I'm a community member who is passionate about listening to others and helping to solve problems. My free time is spent enjoying the simple things in life. I enjoy cooking, camping, enjoying our rivers and wildlife, a steady diet of reading for me, mostly nonfiction. The things that I feel best qualify me for this job are the consistent things that follow me in any job. I'm efficient, forthright, and I keep a forward-looking eye on the details. I have a well-rounded background with 27 plus years in small business employment, and that has equipped me with an understanding of what things work, what things don't, and what things are worth giving a try. As a council member, my focus will be to address issues brought forth to us by our constituents, always with an eye towards sustainability and responsible development that will keep Twisp thriving now and into the future. I am contemplative. I have a contemplative thought process I bring to just about any project or issue I tackle, and I'll bring that towards improving the lives of all who live and work in Twisp. That will always be a top priority for me.
Okay, thank you, Dara. And I'd like to ask Aaron to answer the same question. Tell us something about yourself and your qualifications for the job. 2 minutes.
Okay, thanks, George. I have lived in the Methow Valley for 27 years now. I moved here in 1994, shortly after finishing college from Ohio. And it was my dream to start a small brewery. So shortly after moving here, I started the Methow Valley Brewery brewing, and which would later become the Twisp River Pub. And I did that for 18 years, which is my main career experience in the Methow. Now I do various jobs from delivering applewood from orchards to restaurants and homes for heating, to underground storage tank decommissioning, and driving the Zamboni at the Winthrop Ice Rink. I built a house here and raised 2 children. And in 2014, my house burned in the Carlton Complex fire. I then moved to Twisp and shortly thereafter joined the town council. I've served on the council for 6 years now. I've been on the finance committee, parks and recreation, public safety, and other committees. And I'm also the Twisp representative of the Okanagan County Transportation Authority, and I am the chair of the finance committee for that organization. And I also serve on the board of 2 local nonprofit organizations. I feel that my business experience at running the Twisp River Pub for 18 years has given me a lot of strength towards my role in the town council, as far as being able to prepare budgets, read contracts, manage employees, listen to customers, and deal with unforeseen problems.
Well, time's up. Time's up for that one, Aaron. But the next question is also for you. What capital improvements would you like to see made in the next 5 years?
Okay, so I'm going to go fast because there's a lot. But sports complex, we finished phase 1. We're looking forward to phase 2. There's going to be more ball fields, public restrooms, hopefully a playground for the kids. Improvements to the Twisp Park. We're looking at putting bathrooms in there as well. New band shell, and as well as improvements to the playground. Water and sewer is very important. That's something you don't, the people don't always realize, but it's because it's underground. But our water and sewer systems need improvement, and we have a plan in place to make them better. And it's cost a lot of money, and we also have a plan for where the money's going to come from. The retail district, gateways, signage, and landscaping on Glover Street, and continued improvements to the street, paving and lighting where necessary. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Dara, same question for you. What capital improvements would you like to see made in the next 5 years?
Well, gosh, Aaron's actually made it easy for me because a lot of what I'll say about that echoes what he says. The sports complex is a really exciting project. I'm pleased is already in the making and headed towards its completion. A big one for me is I'd like to see priority given to our municipal park and pool. This has been a safe area for the children of the Met House for over 40 years. Keeping the park and swimming pool on the capital improvements agenda, it retains the value of this important asset while maintaining our relationship with the children of the Met House Valley. Recreational opportunities for our youth are important now, more important than ever, and need our consistent support. So that's really where a lot of my attention and focus goes on for capital improvements. The facility should be given consistent priority as we balance our growth with the community needs. Then you add to that, Aaron said it as well, you add to that an effective public restroom solution that adequately matches our economic revitalization plan that is already in place. Those are the two things I look at and think about for our capital improvements.
Okay, thank you, Dara. Dara, the next question is for you first. Do you believe our town employees have the necessary tools and protocols in place to do their jobs? And if not, what improvements would you make?
Gosh, that is a really good question, and those are the types of things I think about in life in general and in all jobs. I'm not really equipped to answer that because I'm not inside. I'm not on the council. I'm not inside the workflow of our staff. When I attend the meetings, I am available. I am able to see what some of the departments ask for what they need, and that seems to be a real seamless process. So I don't know. I'm not being given that information of what they need or if those needs are being met. But it's always a good area to keep a focus on. I'm going to assume most departments have what they need, and if they don't, I will learn that should I be elected to the seat afterwards. Those are personnel issues that really don't get discussed in open meetings.
Okay, thank you, Dara. Same question, Aaron. Do you believe that our town employees have the necessary tools and protocols in place to do their jobs? And if not, what improvements would you make?
Yes, I do believe that our employees do have the necessary tools and protocols. I think we are fortunate to have a excellent staff that does their job efficiently and was able to meet our budget almost always. And as far as tools go, the new civic building is going to give our police department and our clerks much more technology and space to do the jobs they need. Our public works has gotten a new shop, and we recently got a new snow plow to help improve our ability to plow the roads. We are looking for more help in the public works department. If anyone out there is looking for a job and is qualified, but our public works director and our clerk and our assistant clerk and all the public works staff and the police department do a great job filling their duties.
Thank you. Okay, Aaron, the next question comes to you first. What will you do to support businesses in the town of Twisp?
I think the number one thing we can do to support businesses is to improve the aesthetics of the streets and where people walk and drive. Our revitalization project is well underway. People will notice the solar lights on Glover Street. We have signage coming. We have gateways in the works to help draw people to the Glover Street retail district. I believe that will help. And we don't want to forget about our people on Highway 20 either. So whatever we can do to just make Twisp a place where people want to hang out and want to stop and not just drive through on their way to Winthrop, or if they're heading south, just pass through and not stop and spend money.
Thanks, Aaron. Dara, what will you do to support businesses in the town of Twisp?
Well, I will keep a close eye on the nuts and bolts of what businesses need, which sometimes isn't always, the fluff and noticeable things. The things that businesses need is adequate and consistent access for deliveries, adequate parking for customers and employees alike. Twisp already to me is the place people want to hang out and be. So we kind of have that covered. We've got the interest, we've got the desire. Twisp is unique. It has a lot to offer anybody who's visiting. So we just need to make sure that the businesses can get the goods and services in their brick and mortar storefronts to provide to those of us who are taking advantage of that. I myself, frequently seen around town taking all of my business local as much as possible. So we just need to make sure people can get there with adequate road access, adequate parking. And we need to get a bathroom in downtown Twisp because that is what will keep people lingering down there a little bit longer and in and out of our businesses.
Okay, thank you. Dara, next question. How would you describe the role arts play in our community?
I'm sorry, will you repeat that, George?
Sure. How would you describe the role that the arts play in our community?
Oh, an incredibly unique, culturally enriching, a big financial contributor to our tourist industry. The arts needs our support quite a bit, and it's a selling presence for Twisp. We have developed over a long period of time a very unique and enriching art presence here, and you will frequently find me in our art galleries. You will find my home full of purchased art, and I track what our artists are doing. Their presence here cannot be disputed. Is a wonderful addition to our economy.
Thank you. Aaron, same question for you. How would you describe the role that the arts play in our community?
Yes, I would agree with Ms. Perez. Our arts is a very important part of Twisp culture and our identity, and also our economy. The gallery is growing. We have the new store at Twisp Works, the local store that has a lot of local artists in it. We've also recently formed a creative arts district that allows us to get extra funds to help support the arts. We have new local art public art installations on buildings, and I think the more that we can support the arts and the more art that we have in our town, the better town we can be, and the people, our visitors will appreciate it as well.
Okay, thanks. Aaron, the next question starts with you. What are your thoughts on illegal drug traffic in Twisp? And Do you think our community is responding adequately to the problem?
I think that there is a problem, but I think it's gotten better. The biggest challenge from talking with the police department is them not having enough teeth from the higher levels to get the people that are selling the drugs and are dealing the drugs out. A lot of times this is a matter of pushing them out of town, and then they go somewhere else to a different community to do the same thing. And I think it's up to our higher levels of government to give our local police the tools they need to catch these people that are dealing drugs and make sure that they're properly put in a place where they can't do it anymore. And it is a challenge. I think the only thing that regular people can do is just let the police know when you see something. And that's
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dara, same question. What are your thoughts on illegal drug traffic in Twisp? And do you think our community is responding adequately to the problem?
I do think our community is responding adequately to the problem and has always responded adequately. I live in the heart of town, and I've always kept my eye and my ear very open to this issue, and I've talked to a lot of people in the community for a lot of years, sometimes in the capacity to alert them of new behavior players showing up in the valley, in the neighborhood. Other times to alert them to disappearing players, current events. So I can say that in the last few years the problem has diminished, and I do credit that to our police department. They're incredible. They're homegrown. They have very local knowledge of movements within our town. They know where to look for problems, and they've dealt with them effectively. And I've watched this closely for many years. Our police department's hands are tied in many ways as far as what they can do beyond making contact with these criminals who, just kind of have such a trickle-down effect in our community. Their hands are tied right now at this time as far as what they can do with them, but I've never seen them fail to make contact, and a lot of times that's very effective.
Thanks, Dara. Dara, just a reminder, I don't know if you can see a small window with Simon and his flags.
I cannot.
Oh, okay. Maybe Simon or Val can figure out how to.
Okay, Simon, I can see Simon now.
Okay, watch him, and he will raise the yellow flag for 15 seconds left to answer, and the red flag to wrap up your answer. Thank you.
Did he red flag me, Simon?
Pardon?
Did he red flag me and I missed it?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I'll watch.
Don't worry about it. I'm the enforcer, so. Dara, next question is for you. The town council has endorsed the Methow Valley Climate Action Plan. How would you position to implement this plan?
You broke up there a little bit, George. Repeat that.
Sure. The town council has endorsed the Methow Valley Climate Action Plan. How would you use your council position to implement this plan?
My goodness. Well, first and foremost, my council position that plan just came out within the last 2 weeks, I believe, if I'm correct. And I've done a light overview, but not a deep study on it. So since the election is right around the corner, should I win the seat, that it would be more about educating, and implementation would have to fall upon a collaborative effect with the rest of the council members. If they've studied on it in depth also, we'd have to collaborate on implementing it. That very few things can be done as an individual on a council, so that would be in a collaborative effort with my co-council, should I win the seat.
Thank you. Aaron, same question. The town council has endorsed the Methow Valley Climate Action Plan. How would you use your council position to implement the plan?
Well, I voted to approve that, so I'm in favor of supporting the climate action plan, and I would use my position to encourage people to do the things that they can do to help out. Um, one of the biggest issues is our forest fires and our threat of fire to our town that's exacerbated by climate change and drought. Um, and I think we should establish a FireWise program to help people to protect their residents and the town in general from that, and also using less carbon in general in their everyday lives and burning less fossil fuels and putting in better wood stoves so we make less smoke and all those things that can help keep us safe.
Okay, thank you. Aaron, the next question comes to you. Do you support the Friends of the Pool's effort to upgrade the aging Wagner Pool? And will you support the creation of a recreation district if needed to do this?
Yes, I and the rest of the council have always supported the Friends of the Pool in their generous contributions to help keep the pool afloat while we figure out a solution to our aging pool problem. The pool is reaching the end of its useful life, and keeping on pouring money into this aging infrastructure is, we have determined, is just not a viable solution. We need a new pool, and we need to figure out how to fund it. And the recreation district is, I believe, is the best solution. And others, it's not the only solution, but at this time, it's the best solution in creating a recreation district to determine where the new pool lies, how it should be funded, and how it will sustain itself is a very important goal at the council in Twisp.
Thank you. Dara, same question. Do you support the Friends of the Pool's effort to upgrade the aging Wagner Pool? And will the creation of a recreation district if needed to do this?
I absolutely support the Friends of the Pool's effort. That's real simple. And acknowledging that the aging infrastructure of the pool is a problem and has been a problem. It goes back it speaks earlier to my thoughts on, I do feel the pool should be a public and a private supported capital improvement plan. It should follow a model, it could follow a model similar to the civic building, where it is a grant funded capital improvement project. So, it is a complex problem in solving what to do about our pool, but it is absolutely worthy to preserve. And I do feel that we could and should use more public dollars for that community asset. And no, I do not support a recreation taxation district.
Okay, thanks, Dara. And the next question is for you. What are the biggest challenges, in your opinion, that we face as a community, and as a council member, what will you do to bring people together to solve them?
Well, bringing people together to solve them starts with opening our channels of communication with our elected officials and our residents, and keeping those channels of communication open. We really do need to pull civic engagement back into our conversations for a solution-based think tank that involves our residents and our elected officials. There's a lot of people who know a lot of things and are really smart about how to get things done, and it's a great way for a council to expand the resources available to it to keep our town moving in the right direction. That, I feel, a lot of solutions would fall into place just simply applying those open channels of communication. And I forgot the question in its entirety. If you give me a real quick, I'll give you two more answers.
Well, the time is up.
Okay.
So I'm going to move on and allow Aaron to answer this same question. What are the biggest challenges that we face as a community? And as a council member, what will you do to bring people together to solve them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say what we don't face as challenges, and I do think the lines of communication are open with the council, and I don't think our semi-monthly public meetings are the place for a lot of public input and conversation. While we do allow public input on our meetings, our doors are always open at the council for people to put their input in and discuss matters with either the mayor or the council members. And the public meetings that happen twice a month are meant for us to take all that information, make policy as directed by the mayor and the staff, and to implement that policy as a council. I think that our challenges are just overcoming the hurdles of being a small town and having limited resources. I don't think grants for the pool, I don't think that there's going to be enough money from grant money to come from the pool. It has to come from our locals, either private money or taxes. And so money is a challenge.
Thanks, Aaron. And that's a good segue to the next question for you. If the council could write a successful grant to enhance the town of Twisp as a livable small town, what would be at the top of your list to accomplish with the grant money? And are you aware of any grant money to help accomplish this goal?
To make it livable, I believe that I believe that that's happening as we speak, because we are constantly receiving grant money from states to improve the streets, to improve the walkability of the town, to improve the lighting, and to improve the availability of water and the basic resources that the town needs. I think housing always comes up as one of our biggest challenges, and if we were to receive a grant, I think helping us to design a affordable housing system where people could have houses where they live and be able to easily travel to work in town would probably be the best use of that money.
Thank you. Same question, Dara. If the council could write a successful grant to enhance the town of Twisp as a livable small town, what would be at the top of your list to accomplish with the grant money? And are you aware of any grant money to help accomplish this goal?
Not aware of any grant money at this time, but at the top of the list would be a clear push and a movement towards the quality of life in our projects, quality of life projects for our town. That would be right at the top. I see a need and a benefit for more bottom-up quality of life projects at incremental and using an incremental approach, and maybe not so much a top-down mega project approach to some of the grant money we've been seeking and applying for the last year to two, maybe 3 years. We're really putting a lot of time and money with grants into top-down projects, and I'd like to see bottom-up improving quality of life projects for us.
Okay, thank you.
Neighborhoods.
Dara, the next question is for you first. Do you have a primary goal as a town council member? And if so, how would you implement that goal?
A primary goal?
Yeah.
Well, the primary goal is really to keep our elections fresh and rotating, and keeping different community members on our councils. Our elected officials, need to represent these sections of our demographics. So it's good to kind of keep it, keep it mixing up. So getting new voices and perspectives on the council is a primary goal of mine and why I'm running. How you meet that goal is showing up for the job and meeting the demands of any issues at hand that are presented to you. And this requires flexibility and thought. This requires a contemplative thought process, and once you apply those tools, you can arrive at solutions 9 times out of 10.
Hey, thanks, Dara. We really just have one more question for each of you. Dara, you first, and that is there any issue or question that we've not brought up that you would like to address?
Nothing specific to address. That could really take a lot more time than we have here tonight. I rely on the community to let me know what they would like to address. So if we are at the end of their questions, one of my cornerstones is my priorities will be made by the community's priorities. So if this is the end of their questions for me, no, I cannot come up with anything else at this time.
Okay, thanks, Dara. And Aaron, finally for you, is there any question or issue that we've not brought up that you would like to address?
No, I don't think so. Well, yes, actually there is. Sorry. I would like to address the issue of the pedestrian island at Hanks and the Ulrichs, where the new bus stop is. We worked really hard with the Department of Transportation to create a safe crossing there, and I know there's been a lot of backlash, but it's important to note that we do need a bus stop there for people to be able to get on the bus that need to use that service. And we did have an incident where someone was hit crossing the street trying to get to the bus, and that was the initial impetus for that project. And it does increase the safety for pedestrians. And then also, I just think, all the issues, the pool, the public bathrooms, and all that's things we continue working on and trying to get funding for. So.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like a rebuttal, please.
Yes, go ahead, Dara.
I'd like to just say that I don't think the verdict is out on how safe that pedestrian crossing and that whole intersection is yet. We have different conditions in which that area is going to be crossed that we have not arrived at yet. Different weather conditions, winter, early winter, late winter, snow removal. So I think it's a little early to say how safe and effective or purposeful that whole area is going to prove to be. And I hear from a lot of, all right, thank you.
Oh, go ahead. You still have time.
I was just going to add that I hear from a lot of people who do snow plowing for a living that they're just dreading facing these conditions. So I think the verdict is not in on that yet.
Okay, thank you. Well, we've reached the end of tonight's candidate forum. I really appreciate Aaron Studen, Dara Perez, Larry Smith, and Carol Gaston for taking the time, answering the questions, and letting our community learn a little bit more about you and where you stand on some of these issues. Special thanks to our timekeeper, Simon Wendell, and Val Hecker is behind the scenes, leading the effort for the Grange folks, making this happen tonight. My name is George Schneider. I've really enjoyed and feel honored to have been asked to do this evening. Everybody, look for your voting pamphlet in the mail and exercise your right to vote in a few weeks in November. Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Good night.
Thank you.